animals brighten our lives. Grateful Rescue TV, a look at the great things happening at Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary in Muncie, Indiana. Pamela Tribune shares the stories of people working to save dogs and cats. Grateful Rescue TV.
Hey, I'm Colton Howard with Grateful Rescue, and today we're going to tell you about how Grateful Rescue brought all of us together in a very fun way and got this guy Butter a great home. Sitting next to me is my girlfriend Alyssa, and Alyssa, do you want us to tell the audience, the world here, about how Butter initially came into our life?
Sure. So we were leaving his parents' house Labor Day evening about 9 p.m. It was pretty dark out at the time, and as we're exiting the neighborhood, I see a black figure in the corner of my eye, which we thought was a small little cat at the time, but quickly realized that it was sweet Buddy here. So we immediately had to stop and help him out, at least see if he had a collar on so we could bring him back to his family. But quickly realized after a little luring with some charcuterie, no collar, no tag. So we brought him into our car, brought him home, and the story kind of unfolds from there.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy getting him into the car, but once we did, you could tell that he'd been outside all day, definitely very terrified. And as soon as he was in the car, just crashed, just completely fell asleep. He was exhausted for the day.
We had him for a month at that point. We also have one other older dog and 2 kids, so kind of got him acclimated with the family life while we could.
We were kind of scrambling about what are next steps. We have this puppy at our house. What do we do? And so that is when we started talking with Pamela about finding a foster family. And Pamela reached out literally the night before we had to leave and said, hey, I think we have a foster family for him to go to. We came over to you, Kim, and what were your first impressions of Butter when we just said, here you go, here's a new dog for you?
Well, he was just kind of a big lanky puppy, and I was just wondering how he was going to be with my dogs, but he was super sweet and super laid back and just really relaxed for a puppy. So
you may not known at the time that the family was so close, right?
yeah.
So in comes Katie and of course Charlie.
Kim is my mom, and Charlie's grandma. So anytime we would go and visit grandma, we got to play with Butter, and grandma was really good about planting the seed about what a wonderful fit he would be for our family, because it just so happened that Charlie had been doing a lot of praying around that time for a dog that would sleep with her in her bed. Grammy said, well, maybe you could make a video, kind of explaining why you should adopt him, right?
Okay, I have such a great home, and my home is the greatest home ever, and I hope the dog likes it, and he's the bestest dog. Okay, bye.
Bye.
I fell in love with him, and he fell in love with me, and I let go of it, and then he came to my life, and I loved it.
Butter, we love you. We're so happy for you. Thank you so much for letting us share this story with you. And thank you to Grateful Rescue for everything that they do. And Pamela Terhune, she's just a saint, and we appreciate everything. Without her, none of this would be possible.
And welcome back to Grateful Rescue TV. We're joined by a very special group here. This is Ida and this is Taylor Bullock, and she is the founder of Terre Haute's rescue called Happy Tails Animal Rescue. And this is Ida's foster, Julie. And Ida stole my heart about 4 weeks ago when I saw her story. And Taylor, please share Ida's story.
Yeah, so it's like you said, it's been about 4 weeks now. And Ida came to us. She kind of came to us accidentally, but there was a dog that was loose one day, and I was at work, and someone messaged me, and all I saw was, "Is your dog intake closed?" And I was like, "Yeah, like we're so full." And all of a sudden the picture came, and it was this literal skeleton of a dog walking. And she said, "He's falling down, he's walking." And I said, 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes, I will get someone there.
Oh.
So we went and got him, we named him Arlo, and immediately got him to the vet. And all of a sudden we get another message that says, well, there's another dog in worse condition.
Oh
I'm
gosh.
like, how is there a dog in worse condition than Arlo? Because he was a literal skeleton walking. And it was Miss Ida here.
Oh.
Miss Ida was actually carried out from a home because she could not stand or walk on her own.
Oh my gosh.
And we immediately got her to the vet as well when they began hospitalizing her.
It was amazing that she could even stand up.
Yeah.
I saw the picture. She needed oxygen.
Yeah, when she first got to the vet, she needed oxygen. She's very anemic. She was about 2% away from needing a blood transfusion.
Oh my gosh.
But they were also concerned if they did the blood transfusion, she would not make it overnight because of her condition.
Mm-hmm.
She was very dehydrated, very anemic. A lot of her blood levels were just all over the place because of how skinny she was, how weak she was. And overnight, they kind of said, they were very honest and said she might not make it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember just praying for this little girl. And you say Arlo, and were there others?
There were. So this came to light that there were 16 animals in the home that she came from.
Gosh.
5 emaciated dogs and 11 cats.
Oh, wow.
So I'm very grateful for our prosecutor's office and Terre Haute Police Department that acted fast on this, because I was concerned the other 4 dogs in the home, or 3 dogs at that time, would not make it through the weekend if they were in any sort of condition like her and Arlo were. So they did act very fast, and we got them out 2 days after rescuing her and Arlo. And then Ida spent 14 days at the hospital.
Oh my gosh. So you've incurred some pretty hefty bills.
Yes, it's not, if anyone owns an animal, it's not cheap to spay and neuter 16 animals. It's not cheap to get them all vaccines, prevention, daily food, taking care of them. And it costs a lot, but they're all worth every penny that we've spent. So I'm working on Ida's law. I think, animal abuse and neglect, clearly watching a dog starve to the condition they can't stand. She didn't stand for 9 days. And that's it with hospital, that's with fluids, that's with medicine. That it should easily be at least a level 6 felony that she should have got for this issue.
And Julie, you play an important part in this whole story too, because as Taylor said, without fosters, you can't take as many dogs. What made you feel the need to step up for Ida?
Ida will be my 4th foster.
Wow.
I had 2 foster fails. So
my favorite kind of foster.
Yes. So I think it's just rewarding, especially to watch them, get them back to health. Watch their personality come out. When she's hungry, she lets it be known. When I first got her, she couldn't even get up on the bed, but she wanted to get up there so bad. So I would have to get her up and off. She still can't get up on the bed. But it's just rewarding to watch these innocent animals come back to life, get their personality back, get their health back, and become, the animal, the dog, cat, whatever you foster, get them back to where they can enjoy life.
So where do people go to donate to your cause or supplies, anything you need?
Yeah, so for donation wise, if you follow our Facebook page, Happy Tails Animal Rescue, or our website, happytailsanimalrescue.com, we have a donation tab. We collect donations by PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, check, pretty much any way. We have an Amazon wish list, a Chewy wish list. If you want to send an item instead of monetary donation, always needed. Food's always needed. We currently have 31 dogs and 56 cats, so we go through food.
Oh my gosh, oh my word.
Yeah.
Well, we think you're amazing. This is something you didn't have to do. You're doing this straight out of your home and your heart, and it's people like you that
thank you.
angels in the animal
It
welfare
takes all of
world.
us. Yeah,
It
it's
does.
A village. Yeah.
It takes a village, and thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
And thank you, big girl, for being such a good girl. So that'll wrap it up with this segment of Grateful Rescue TV.
Hi, I'm Al Unser Jr., two-time Indy 500 winner.
I'm Norma Unser, Grateful Rescue board member, and we need you to join the Project Pit Stop.
Grateful Rescue is building housing to save lives of the pit bulls of Indianapolis. Many are on death row. Make a donation right now at gratefulrescue.org.
Al and I love Grateful Rescue's mission at giving dogs a second chance at life.
So help us save the pit bulls with Project Pit Stop.
Happy holidays, everybody, from the Grateful Rescue. Ho, 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 ho.
And over the past 8 years, we've saved the lives of over 1,000 animals. So we have dogs from all walks of life, but you know what? One thing they have in common is they've all learned love. They learned trust. They learned what it's like to feel good and healthy. And they knew when they come to Grateful that they would be safe and they would be loved for the rest of their lives. You are family. We're so honored to have you here tonight, and we thank you for bringing these babies back to see me. My heart is so full. Thank you.
This is Mama.
And is this a Grateful pup?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yep, she got a call. Some Amish man was going to put a lot of them down, and this one had lived in a crate for over 2 years and needed a home with other ones, and we've got 4 other ones, and so she started to blossom with our other 4. Yep.
We adopted Wayne from Grateful, and Wayne is Cricket's brother. His name used to be Rock.
Cole is a Grateful Rescue. He is 3 years old. He was puppy mill number 5, I believe. So, and that's why we're here. We're here to say hi and Merry Christmas.
Well, we are the volunteer team that takes care of the adoptions, the medical scheduling and paperwork. So we kind of are one of the final steps in placing these pets into their loving homes.
And how does it feel to get a reward like this?
Well, it's touching, very touching, and just being a part of Grateful is kind of like a reward in itself, because both of us have been involved in rescue for years, and this is our heart. This is what we truly feel like we were put on this planet to do. What she said.
Everybody help Fido Indy.
So our fence program is geared at just that, of improving the lives of these dogs that are living outside. Our fence team members go out, meet the dog, meet the people, look at the backyard, and come up with a plan for how to get the dog, off the end of a chain or out of a tiny little pen.
And this is Rex, who's a very nice boy. But the clients have some mobility issues that make it difficult for them to get him out and get him for walks. So we came out and closed the back door, and now all he has to do is run right out that back door.
How can people help if they want to help your organization with funding for these projects?
Yep, so it's very easy to donate through our website, which is fidoindy.org. Donations of, even used inside training crates that are still functional. Thank you for helping us get the word out.
Perfect. Hi, welcome back to Grateful Rescue TV. And we are joined with a very special guest today. This is Amanda, the director of the IACS, Indianapolis Animal Care Services. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Thank you. What we want to talk with Amanda about today is the need for rescues, taking your animals. You've been charged with a very stressful situation. Would you say that, I'm talking specifically about pit bulls today.
Okay.
Would you say that that's mostly what you're getting turned into the shelter?
We get all different breeds, but I would say that is the majority. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we, as Grateful Rescue and a lot of other rescues, are always scrambling to try to help alleviate some of those. One thing I've noticed whenever we go through looking at the dogs that we want to take, I've noticed that you guys spend a lot of time being able to give a picture of this dog to rescues that might consider. Can you explain a little bit of that, like all the medical and behavioral assessments you do when they come in?
Absolutely. So anytime an animal comes in, they go through our screening process. If they come in injured or sick, we do have a medical team that will assess them, kind of figure out what pathway they need. Is it something we can treat in the shelter? Will it need more extensive care that we cannot handle in the shelter? And then that's when we would, send that out for rescue request. We have full capacity to be able to do x-rays, blood work. We use urgent care, emergency clinics around town. And we now have a contract vet that comes in as well. So a lot of times they're getting top-notch medical care before they're, before we know exactly what's going on, so that we can give that to the rescue for them to make an educated decision on if they can handle, what's wrong with this animal.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, the staff there and the volunteers, you try so hard to get, I know that with overcrowding comes some hard decisions.
Yeah.
But what I love about IACS is you guys try so hard to get these animals placed. And we've taken animals and they actually, like the volunteers will sit in a circle and they have to say goodbye to these animals. So we appreciate you so much. And do you think that the rescues that are taking animals, is that helping make a little bit of a difference? Or?
Oh, absolutely. I think we increased from last year our intake, and what we took in was around 500 extra animals so far. And then we have increased our release rates to rescues and transfers 30%.
Oh my gosh.
So that helps, just not even with just the overcrowding, but the animals that need that urgent care, more medical than we're able to give, animals that they just don't thrive in a shelter setting. So getting them out into a foster home or into a rescue where it's not as loud, it's not as scary. All of those help us with placement of the animals and gives them an outcome that they may not have otherwise at the shelter.
Right. And you do a lot of that. You have a doggy day out. And you were explaining to me earlier about the complete difference the dog is outside.
Oh yeah.
Can you explain a little bit of that, how the different things you do?
Yeah, so we do the Doggy Day Out program, which we did with volunteers, but we opened that up to the public. I believe that was, don't quote me, I believe September or October, we opened that up to the public. That allows, right now we have 6 slots daily. So 6 animals get to leave the shelter with the public, and they can take them to a sniff spot, take them home, just take them on trail walks. It gives them time to decompress. The animals that are super stressed in the shelter, it gives us behavioral insight. How would they be in a home? How are they meeting strangers or other animals on the street? So it gives us really good behavior insight to be able to tell a potential adopter as well.
Right.
But it also gives valuable time to decompress and de-stress from outside the shelter walls, because the shelter environment for an animal, I know even if you think it's the best animal, they come to the shelter, it's loud, there's 200 other dogs barking, they're in a kennel majority of the time, like they're scared, their behavior changes a little bit just from the stress.
Yeah. Now, and if somebody wants to get involved in a Doggy's Day Out, how do they do that?
Yeah, you just sign up online. It's on indy.gov and it's on our Facebook page. You can just sign up.
Okay.
Yeah. We just like people to know that we are there 7 days a week from noon to 6:30 for adoptions. Adoptions, fostering, and rescue are the biggest things, in a shelter environment, helping us get them out quickly. And remember to spay and neuter and microchip your pets.
Oh, please.
Biggest thing. It's most important.
That's right. That's right. Well, thank you so
You're
much
welcome.
for joining us.
Thank you for having me
sure
today.
Appreciate you.
Hi, I'm Jenny, and this is Marina. So I follow the Indianapolis Animal Care Services rescue group, and I actually kept seeing her post pop up that she had a deadline, and I commented a couple times that I could foster her, and nobody was necessarily, it's not that they weren't stepping up. A lot of dogs had been pulled that month. So I actually got connected from one rescue to another rescue, which is Grateful Rescue, and they asked if I'd fill an application and foster. Oh, she would have been euthanized. Like, she had a deadline and she would not be here. She's actually been very chill. The meeting with my dog was super uneventful. I was expecting her to be way more excited, but she wasn't. She's just been, she's very laid back. She's not overly excited. She's young, but she's just been pretty chill. She is really great. If I had more time, and if I had more time, I'd honestly adopt her myself. She's just been amazing. She doesn't know any commands, but she walks on a leash as if she was taught how to heel. She does great with my kids. I have young kids. She does great with them, does great with my dog. She's great going outside. If you sit down, she just wants to sit with you and just cuddle with you. She's it's like a Velcro dog in a way, but she's also fine in her crate. She's very quiet. She doesn't ever bark. I wasn't expecting her to honestly be such a great dog. They had her listed as a lab mix, and she's probably only about 50 pounds max. Definitely someone who will walk her and take her out, someone who's home a little bit more. She likes being around people, and she likes spending time with people. So the more she can do that, I think that would benefit her the most.
And now on Grateful Rescue TV, we love people who do good things for pets, for dogs. The American Dog Whisperer, and he's amazing. He works with dogs that really need some help.
Yep, and today Nathan Lowe has a new problem to solve. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Nathan Lowe, the American Dog Whisperer. Some months ago, a lady named Betsy contacted me. Betsy was having trouble with her bulldog, Brody. Brody was nipping at her as she walked. Brody was peeing in the house. Brody was doing a variety of other things she didn't want. Can you help? She said. I said, absolutely, let's take a look. Went, put some guidelines in place for Brody and for her to work on with Brody. She said, the difference has been amazing. I said, can I sit down with an interview and you share some of this? She said, absolutely. What you're about to see today is parts of that interview. Hope you enjoy.
With bulldogs, I definitely feel like you definitely have to let them know who's in charge. They are very bullheaded and they want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. I had asked them if anybody knew any good dog trainers in the Indy area, and a friend recommended you, and so we got in contact, and it was very quick. He was nipping quite a bit, just like biting a little bit on shirts and any kind of clothing really that he could get. And then also, we pull really hard on the leash. He does not do well with leash. He wants to go outside and right back inside. So he gets very anxious outside a lot with loud noises and then in new environments. I have talked to him a lot, and you were talking about like not making him more anxious and like your eye contact and things like that with him. And so that was very surprising for me and made me kind of realize that I was probably making him a little bit more anxious. But letting the dog out in the entryway, like me going first, instead of letting them just explore, was definitely eye-opening because it made sense with me that like I should be the one to allow him to do things. A lot of improvements actually outside we're doing better with the sitting outside, just moving different spots and dropping treats to kind of just get him to be a little bit less anxious outside. So I've noticed that initially on our walks it'd take us a while before he would calm down, and now he's starting to calm down when we go outside and we can start the walk a little bit easier.
Thank you for joining us today for Grateful Rescue TV. And Reese, I think Reese's pretty comfortable.
Well, she has her commentary. He goes, I'm done. Let's take a nap. I'm done. I'm done. Okay, and he's getting a little feisty, so it's time to go.
It's time to go, and we'll see you next week on Grateful Rescue TV.
Let's do that together on Grateful Rescue TV.